Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing this afternoon? First off, let me thank you for coming. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to Mulberry's first annual State of the City. So it's super exciting. It is truly an honor for me to stand before you and reflect on what this community has accomplished together. Mulberry is still a very young city. In fact, we've only just completed our first year. But in that short time, the story of this city has become one of determination, resilience, and community spirit. Today, I want to talk about where we started, what we accomplished in our first year, and what it means for the future of Mulberry. But before I do that, we have Pastor Diane Ward here from Hamilton Mill United Methodist Church who's going to lead us in an invocation. So Pastor Ward, if I could have her come forward, if you could stand if you're able.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Hamilton Mill United Methodist Church. We are so grateful that you are here. I invite you to take a posture of prayer that you are comfortable with. Holy and gracious God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together. We pray today for your wisdom and your grace. We thank you for this city, and we thank you for the people in it. May you continue to bless it. And may you continue to show us ways in which we can honor you and help each other in your name. God, I pray for the staff and the city officials that you continue to lead them and guide them. And I pray for the people of this city. May they be well. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Ward. Sorry, if you could remain standing, I should have said that at the beginning. We have Brady Rudnick of Boy Scout Troop 1597 who's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you like to stand me and pledge allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of America, to the republic, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
Good job, Brady. For those of you that don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael Coker, and my family moved to Mulberry. They're seated right over here when I was 8 years old. I grew up here. I rode my bike on the streets of what are now Mulberry. And over the last 3 decades, I've watched this community change, grow, and evolve. But through all those changes, one thing has remained constant. There is no other place that I would rather call home. But through all those changes, Mulberry is more than just a location on the map. It's a community of families, neighbors, and friends who care deeply about the future of this area, and that shared commitment is exactly what made the creation of this city possible. Now, Mulberry would not exist, and certainly would not have thrived, if it weren't without the support of our elected officials at really every level of government. Their partnership and a shared commitment towards local control, responsible governance, and fiscal responsibility are why Mulberry exists today. Now I want to talk a little bit about, some people may not realize that cities get a large portion of their funding from the state of Georgia based on their population. To receive that funding, a city must obtain a certified population letter from the U.S. Census Bureau. When Mulberry was a new city, we contacted the Census Bureau, and we told them that we needed our population letter for our funding. But they told me there was a 2-year backlog. Well, 2 years was not an option for us, a brand new city trying to establish our own budget. So we reached out to Congressman Andrew Clyde. Congressman Clyde stepped in and used his influence to help Mulberry receive our certified population letter in less than 1 year. Because of that assistance, Mulberry received funding that it was entitled to, and we were able to run a budget surplus in our first year. I wanted to personally thank you. Will you please join me in thanking and welcoming this man who played a big role in the success of this city in year one, Congressman Andrew Clyde.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much, and good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here with you all and to share just a few words at Mulberry's inaugural State of the City address. For the past 5 years, I've had the privilege of representing Georgia's 9th Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives, and as you all may know, we welcomed part of Gwinnett County, including what is now the City of Mulberry, to the 9th District in 2023. Northeast Georgia is a very special place, and I consider it a true honor to serve the folks of the 9th District, to represent our shared values, and to advance our common sense priorities. While plenty of this important work happens through the legislative process up in our nation's capital, my team and I also have the wonderful opportunity to help constituents and lead efforts right here in North Georgia. As the great President Ronald Reagan once said, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." We all know the federal government can be a real pain, but I take great pride in assisting folks in dealing with the bureaucracy and headaches that come along with those alphabet agencies up in Washington. You know, it's always been a privilege to advocate for and assist our local communities. And after all, small, limited government is the key to safeguarding our constitutional liberties and both fostering and sustaining economic prosperity. When, with my help, we passed the One Big Beautiful Working Families Tax Cut Act that eliminated taxes on overtime pay, on tips, on Social Security payments, and made permanent a $2,200 child tax credit, we had local folks in mind when we did it. As Mayor Coker mentioned, another great example of this critical work happened right here in Mulberry. And as y'all are painfully aware, this city faced tremendous opposition from its very founding. But y'all have fighters here in your local government, led by Mayor Coker. You also have fighters in this state. So I want to thank Leader Chuck Efestration and the entire state legislature for leaning forward and making this city possible through state legislation. You know, I'm a fighter too. And so when I learned about the burdensome legal battles and obstacles standing in Mulberry's way, I was happy to work with Mayor Coker to ensure that the City of Mulberry received its certified population letter from the U.S. Census Bureau just as quickly as was possible. Securing this letter and doing it in less than 1 year was key to assisting the city in its survival and financial stability. And I applaud Mayor Coker's resolve in taking on this battle on behalf of Mulberry, and y'all in standing firm behind the foundation of fiscally conservative policies upon which this city is built. It was a pleasure to coordinate on this matter with Mayor Coker, and I look forward to continuing to work together as we serve our mutual constituents. So please know that my staff and I've got my district director here, and I've got one of my field reps here as well. Please know that my staff and I are always here to assist you in navigating complications with the federal government. I have phenomenal caseworkers in my Gainesville district office, and they're equipped to help constituents with federal agencies such as the dreaded IRS, the Veterans Administration, Social Security Administration, and any other 3-letter federal agency. Additionally, my DC staff is happy to help you coordinate tours of the Capitol, the White House, or other Washington landmarks if you ever decide to visit our nation's capital. And I know that one of you is here coming up to see me literally on Wednesday of this coming week. You can reach out to me at either of my offices through our website at clyde.house.gov. Thank you again, Mayor Coker, for the opportunity to be with y'all today. I'm really excited for the City of Mulberry, and I look forward to our continued partnership to serve this community. It's such an honor to represent and serve the workers, families, and businesses of Mulberry. Thank you, and Soli Deo Gloria. Now, I would like to present to the mayor and to the city a flag flown over the United States Capitol in your honor. So, if I may. Mayor Coker, this is a flag, a 5x8 flag flown over the United States Capitol in honor of the City of Mulberry. Along with it comes a certificate from the architect of the Capitol certifying the flag flown over the Capitol. Congratulations, sir.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. That's awesome. All right, the creation of the city also was the brainchild of another very important person that's here today. Majority Leader Chuck F. Strachan, like me, grew up here. A former district attorney for Gwinnett County, he was elected to the Georgia House of Representatives in 2013. His leadership abilities were quickly realized by his colleagues, and in 2022, he was elected Majority Leader of the Georgia House of Representatives. But more importantly, he never forgot where he came from. When residents began raising concerns about planning and zoning decisions affecting our community, he listened. He made it his mission to create Georgia's newest city so that control could return to the people who live here. Please join me in thanking and welcoming Majority Leader Chuck F. Strachan.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, it is so incredible. It's an incredible feeling to be standing here on this altar here today because 2 years ago, I was standing in the same place. Many of you were also in the room as we had a town hall concerning the ballot referendum as to the creation of Mulberry. And you know, at the time, the commitment was simple. It was that we needed local control of planning and zoning, and that this proposal would not impose a homestead property tax. And as we are here 2 years after the fact, and we just heard the mayor, and we see the council in the room who are doing an outstanding job, we have made good on those two commitments. Here today, we see the results, and our mayor reports that the city has a surplus in its budget. I think that deserves a round of applause. And it makes me even more proud to know that while there were individuals with other agendas who opposed the ballot measure at the time, who made all kinds of outlandish, unsubstantiated claims against the city, that those have not been supported, that has not played out as they attempted to convey. Moving forward, I see exciting opportunities for the city to continue on this mission. Now, when this proposal was brought forward, this was no individual alone could do this. And as the proposal was brought at the state capitol, we had a local community of support here in Mulberry that wanted to see this passed. Mayor Coker was very active in that, as well as so many of you here in the room who, through your action, made this possible. But there's a special group that I would like to also thank. Individuals, many of whom you may have never met, but they are legislators at the state capitol, the Gold Dome in Atlanta, who were willing to step up and hear the concerns of the residents of Mulberry and support us in this cause. Those legislators, of course, we know Senator Dixon, who represents this area, Representative Sandy Donatucci, who is here. Representative Donatucci, will you stand, please, just to wave at the crowd? And we even have here Chair Lady Representative Katie Dempsey from Rome, who has come to be with us here today, because this was truly a statewide effort to support this endeavor. I just want to close with this. It makes my heart feel so good to know that when citizens get engaged, they have specific concerns in the community, and they reach out to an elected official wondering if that official is going to hear from them. That you see from our Congressman, Andrew Clyde, that he hears the concerns, the needs, and his office swings into action to do something about it. When you see these local elected officials who represent districts within Mulberry and they say, we understand the mission of this city, we're going to make good on it. And as we are here a year since Mulberry has been in effect, we have made good on it. And to just see state elected officials at the Gold Dome who heard local concerns and didn't say, oh, call your county commissioner, I can't help you with that, I don't do those kinds of things. They proactively looked to find a solution, which was the creation of Georgia's, and for some time, the nation's newest city, the City of Mulberry. A friend of mine at the Capitol stopped me yesterday and said, Lawrenceville is having its 205th birthday this year. I can't wait to see when Mulberry has its 205th birthday. So that's what I pray for. I'm excited for the future of this community. Thank you all for your engagement. Thank you for being here today. And thank you, Mayor Coker, for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. I know there was a couple, I appreciate you introducing your fellow legislators that are here. We have a couple other elected officials that are here that I wanted to recognize. We have Mayor Rockmore from the City of Auburn, if you could stand and be recognized. Thank you for being here. Our District 4 Commissioner, Mr. Matthew Holtkamp from Gwinnett County is here. And then we also have, he's not an elected official, but Mr. Randy Meacham with GMA is here, and I'd like for him to stand and be recognized. There he is in the way back, the cheap seats. I'd also like to take a moment to speak about some members of the Mulberry City Council. These individuals answered the call to lead a brand new city through the challenges and the storms that come with starting a government from scratch. So I'd like to recognize each and every one of them because these gentlemen said yes, they answered the call despite not knowing how difficult the job would be. So I'm going to go in the order of districts. I'm going to start from District 1, Councilman Tim Sullivan. If you could stand to be recognized. From District 3, Councilman Kyle Shields. Our Mayor Pro Tem from District 4, Mr. Michael Rudnick. And then Councilman Doug Ingram, he is traveling with family, so he could not be here, but I'd still like to give him a round of applause as well. Finally, I'd like to recognize the incredible team that has worked so hard behind the scenes to make this city operational. We have our city manager, Jamieson Palmer. We have our director of operations, Kelly Cash. We have our city attorney, Bill Riley, our deputy city attorney, Michelle Milkey, and our executive assistant, Joy Salmons. Starting a new city is an enormous undertaking. The commitment, long hours, and dedication has been instrumental in getting Mulberry up and running. Please give them a round of applause. So that brings us to our state of the city. And as I prepared for today, I could not help but start to feel a little nostalgic, thinking about how far we've come as a community over the last few years. The creation of Mulberry definitely did not happen overnight. It happened because neighbors came together with a shared vision for the future. Now, as the leader of the pro-city movement, I witnessed something truly special. In an era where social media divides people, I saw something very different here. I saw neighbors meeting neighbors. I saw people from different backgrounds and different political parties come together. They were united by one simple idea: local control matters. And together, we voted yes to Mulberry. Now, that picture there on the screen is me on probably what is the hottest day in the month of May that I remember, waving uncontrollably to cars as they pulled into the precinct to vote for Mulberry. I was standing on the side of the road holding a sign that said, "Vote yes to Mulberry." But that vote represented something much bigger, because you did not just vote yes to a city, you voted yes for a vision. On May 31st, 2025, the Mulberry City Council adopted the city's first vision statement. That statement defines who we are and who we want to become as a community. So I'm going to read that vision statement for you here today. It says, "The City of Mulberry envisions itself as a distinct and intentional community, guided by local leadership, offering a high quality of life through preservation of its rural character, low-density residential development, open space, and natural resources. Mulberry will promote executive housing, thoughtfully scaled commercial opportunities, and Class A employment centers that support a strong local economy. Future development will align with the community's values, embracing equestrian-friendly land uses, high-quality materials, and development patterns that respect the scale, intensity, and rural aesthetic of this area." But a vision statement alone doesn't build a city. It requires action. So the City of Mulberry Council and staff sprung into action. We implemented zoning changes that reduced density, protected rural character, and ensured that development matches the vision that residents voted for. That included such things as a focus on low density and rural preservation. We reduced the amount of land that could be rezoned to high density TND or R60 zoning by over 260 acres. We closed loopholes in OSC, the conservation zoning, to focus on true conservation. We added 2 new zoning classifications, equestrian residential and equestrian commercial, and we increased the minimum lot size requirements, thereby decreasing overall housing density. Now, I want to be clear about something. Mulberry cannot stop developments that were approved before the city existed. And much of what you see under construction was approved before Mulberry was put into place. But every application going forward must meet the Mulberry standard. That means thoughtful development that respects our community's values. But the vote for yes for Mulberry was not just about planning and zoning. It was also a vote yes for operational excellence. On February 13th, 2025, the Mulberry City Council hires its first city manager, Jamieson Palmer. Jamie came to us from the city of Woodstock and immediately brought the same high standards of professionalism and efficiency that made Woodstock successful. But starting a city from scratch is no small task. In the first year alone, I think this is incredible, we had over 12,000 phone calls in the city of Mulberry, 33 council meetings, 59 open records requests, 205 IT requests, 7 court sessions, and multiple planning and zoning meetings, all while opening 2 city hall offices in 10 months. That's an incredible amount of work for a brand new city. Yes. Operational excellence also meant building the structure of local government. With the help of City Manager Palmer, we established the City Council, the Planning Commission, and the Zoning Board of Appeals. These boards are made up of Mulberry residents who volunteer their time to serve this community. In fact, I know some are here today. If you're serving on the Planning Commission or the Zoning Board of Appeals, could you please stand so we could recognize you? Thank you. From an operations standpoint, at the end of the day, Mulberry would not be where we are without Jamie Palmer. Many city managers would have hesitated or even ran away from taking the Mulberry job because of a brand new city, the challenges, the headwinds, but Jamie answered the call. So will you please join me in thanking Jamie for his leadership and service? The vote yes for Mulberry was also a vote yes for teamwork. Mulberry relies on strong partnerships with private contractors to provide services efficiently. But our city faced an unexpected challenge right from the start. The day after Mulberry officially began operations, Gwinnett County canceled all pending permits within the city. Now, these were families that were trying to build an addition to their home for an elderly parent, or a swimming pool for their children, or even rebuild their home after a fire. Suddenly, they woke up, their permit was revoked, and the project was completely stalled. But within 24 hours, our team here in Mulberry, at Clark Patterson Lee, our contractor who does our planning department, created a transfer permit process so residents could continue their project without paying any new fees. That quick action kept those projects both moving and protected the residents of the city of Mulberry. And through our partnership with CPL, in our first year, we processed 2,033 permits, 5,799 inspections, 261 business licenses, 1,293 plan reviews, and hundreds of occupancy and completion certificates were issued. For a brand new city, that is truly extraordinary. We also built the regulatory framework needed to guide future development. That includes 14 new application systems, 11 UDO text amendments, an interim comprehensive plan, and a local issuing authority for erosion control, all within the city's first year. We owe all this to the team at CPL who answered the call. But there's one person in particular that I would like to recognize. None of this would have been possible without Rebecca Kiefer, our community development director. When the permit cancellations happened, I got swamped with emails. I would venture to say I received hundreds of emails from families, just like you or me, scared, not knowing if they were going to lose their money, not knowing what had happened. Rebecca worked around the clock, sometimes answering emails, I promise, in the middle of the night, to make sure residents' projects were not interrupted, and her dedication to this community made the difference of Mulberry standing successfully in its first 2 months of operations. No matter what anyone threw at us, we were prepared thanks to Rebecca Kiefer. So will you join me in thanking her for her service? But a vote for yes for Mulberry was also a vote for public safety. Because on February 11, 2026, Mulberry's first 2 code enforcement officers were deputized by the Gwinnett County Sheriff. As part of our code enforcement operations, we hired Chief Robert Jones, formerly of the Woodstock Police Department, and Lieutenant Chris Fish, a former Gwinnett County Police Sergeant who also served as a county detective. 2 highly respected men. Thanks to the city of Woodstock, several marshal vehicles were donated to Mulberry at no cost to the city. The leadership of these 2 men has been invaluable as we establish our code enforcement structure. And under their leadership, we've established our local enforcement authorities. We've launched a city's court system. We've achieved Georgia's post-certified recognition. We've implemented Justice One software for our court citations. And we've directed over $400,000 towards remediation efforts, not because we're focused on issuing citations, because we're focused on improving the community. Will you join me in thanking these two men as well? Finally, Mulberry has faced unprecedented legal challenges. I'm sure you've read about that in the news, seen it. But our city attorney, Mr. Bill Riley, has been instrumental in navigating those challenges and establishing legal frameworks, not just for Mulberry, but for future cities to understand and know how the transition of services will be more smooth in the future. We owe a huge debt of gratitude to City Attorney Bill Riley. Will you also join me in thanking him for his service? A vote yes for Mulberry was also a vote yes for fiscal responsibility. Despite the legal challenges you've heard about, despite the startup cost, the City of Mulberry ran a surplus in its first year. On October 2nd, 2025, the city adopted its first official balanced budget, and the financial condition of our city is strong. In fiscal year 2025, the city generated approximately $3.4 million in revenue, while our total expenditures were $2.18 million. That means that even while building a brand new city government from the ground up, hiring staff, establishing services, and defending ourselves in court, Mulberry still finished the year with a surplus. Thank you. You'll see here on the expenditure side, you'll see our largest expenses were professional services and planning services, which makes sense for a brand new city who relies on these public-private partnerships while we build our internal structures. But what that chart really shows is something more important. Mulberry started with strong financial discipline, and we intend to keep it that way. The city of Mulberry does not charge any property taxes. Our revenue comes from different sources, including title ad valorem, building permits, business license fees, franchise fees, financial institution taxes, interest income. These diversified revenue streams help ensure that Mulberry has a stable financial foundation without charging even a penny of property tax for our residents. And I want to emphasize something important. These numbers here do not even include the amount for the insurance premium fees that we receive from the state of Georgia in 2025, an amount over $4 million. So the financial outlook of Mulberry going forward is even stronger than what we expected and what you ultimately see here. One of the best indicators of a city's financial health is what's called its fund balance ratio. And I never had heard of this before until I was involved in municipal government. But Mulberry has a 77.19 fund balance ratio, which means our unrestricted reserves, the cash we have on hand, is more than 3/4 of our annual operating revenue. Another way to think about this is Mulberry currently has enough reserves to cover more than 9 months of expenses if we had zero revenue coming in. For comparison, the Government Finance Officers Association, which sets the financial standards for local governments, recommends that cities have a minimum of 2 months in reserves. Mulberry has 9. That is the definition of fiscal stability. Mulberry currently has $4.3 million in cash on hand, along with funds set aside in savings and tree bank accounts. For a city that officially began operations just a short time ago, this level of financial strength is really unmatched anywhere in the country. And it shows something important about the philosophy guiding this council. We believe with living in our means, planning ahead, and protecting our residents. Another important step forward is this year the city took on our final service, stormwater management. Mulberry has approximately 15,000 parcels in the city, Assuming local control of stormwater allows Mulberry to manage infrastructure maintenance directly and ensure that drainage improvements meet the needs of our community. The system is projected to raise $1.94 in revenue and will be used specifically for stormwater improvements for infrastructure. That means better maintenance of drainage systems, better flood prevention, and better long-term infrastructure planning. But when this community voted yes for Mulberry on May 21st, 2024, it was about more than just solving immediate challenges. It was about the future of this community. It was about making sure the people who live here, the families, the homeowners, the small business owners, would have a voice in the decisions that shape their neighborhood. The creation of Mulberry has given this community something powerful: local control over our future. And so looking ahead, we have a number of important priorities for 2026. In the first quarter, we're going to refine our standard operating procedures and strengthen oversight of city operations. In the second quarter, we're going to train our boards and cross-train staff to continue building strong municipal structure. In the third quarter, we plan to complete the city's full comprehensive plan, which will guide the long-term development and growth in Mulberry. And finally, in the fourth quarter, we'll begin preparation for a complete rewrite of the Unified Development Ordinances, ensuring that the development regulations match the vision that our people voted for. These priorities will ensure that Mulberry continues to grow thoughtfully and responsibly. And at the end of the day, the City of Mulberry is guided by four simple commitments: responsible growth, financial discipline, local control, and community first. These are not just principles or words on a slide. These are the foundation of every decision that this council right here makes. This photo right here captures a moment that I will never forget. As we gathered on New Year's Eve at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Day 2025, Mulberry officially held its first meeting as a city. It was a moment that represented the culmination of years of work by countless people in this community. You've heard from some of them here today. But it was the beginning of something new. And when you look back at everything we've accomplished in just 1 year since that moment, it's truly remarkable. In closing, I want to share one more story. I told you that on that hot May day, I was standing on the side of the road holding this sign. I've held on to it. I don't think I'm ever going to let go of it. But there was a story and something that happened to me when I was on the side of the road that day. There was a minivan that pulled up. I'm going to get emotional thinking about it. There was a mother and her 2 children who pulled forward, and I was waving the sign. I was sweating. And they said, the kids rolled down the window, and they said, "We voted yes for Mulberry." And the mom turned and rolled her window down and looked at me and said, "I voted yes for those kids." And that's really why we're here. For the people of this community, for the families that are here, for the children. That is why we do what we do. It's about the people. It's about the families where we live. Mulberry is still a very young city, but thanks to the people of this community, the future of Mulberry is incredibly bright. The state of our city is strong. Thank you for all that each of you have done to make Mulberry what it is in its first year, to make it one of Georgia's best cities to live in, and thank you, as always, for voting yes to Mulberry. Thank you.